This is the Q from Comic Experience Sci-Fi, and I'm here with Mr. Richie Rollins over there. And I'm giving you my best Brad invitation.
Hello, everybody.
Yes, we're here to talk about something that's near and dear to our hearts, and we have to put this feud aside that we've been going on, and you've seen us in the wrestling ring, and you've seen us cutting promos, and we had to take this time to set aside to talk about someone that we both looked up to as wrestlers and promo cutters and people and that's the Undertaker.
Yes, Q, and it's a sad fact that it takes something like this to bring us together, but
it is.
We are here in peace in honor of the dead man.
The dead man. The rest in peace. You know, just I don't know about you, but Undertaker's been probably my favorite wrestler since he debuted. I don't know.
I think he might be one of the best characters wrestling's ever put out there.
I think he is. You know, they were talking about that the other day. They said that might be Vince McMahon's best character.
I would almost agree. I would think I like the other guys. I always thought that Coco Beware was a pretty good character, and George the Animal Steel. I mean, come on.
Yeah, but none of them lasted as long as the Undertaker.
That's
with
true.
The same character. Like this guy was
right, and even though his matches were almost the same, they weren't as boring as watching Triple H. Because Triple H
had some boring matches.
He's got some long matches that got really boring.
Yeah.
But the Undertaker, somehow you just seem to stay in it, even though you knew it was coming.
Yeah, and it's funny because, like you said, even if you wrestled like a Jeff Hardy, or even when he wrestled maybe somebody as big like a Mark Henry, his matches were still great. And that just lets you know how good he is as a performer to make these other people who... different styles. You got a high flyer and you got a brawler or got a bruiser or somebody that's technical, and all his matches are still decent. They're great. They're good matches.
Yeah, they kept you in it. No matter how long or short they were, they kept you in it. That was, like I said, he's a great performer.
Great performer. And speaking of matches, great segue there, Richie. We're here to talk about top 10, might be 5. We might start crying in the middle. Who knows?
Q's top 10
Undertaker matches. And we're going to start off with number 10. And that's going to be Undertaker versus Kurt Angle for the World Heavyweight title when SmackDown broke up. And it was funny because Undertaker was just coming off of the WrestleMania where he wrestled Mark Henry. Right. And one of the clear things I remember about that match is Kurt Angle and Undertaker were in a tag match on SmackDown before the pay-per-view. And he was trying to send a message to Kurt Angle. So Kurt Angle ended there. Mark Henry was in the ring, and Kurt Angle hit him with an angle slam. And Kurt Angle's like, woo, And Undertaker's like, okay. And he did his, cut across the throat. And we all know what that means. That means time for the tombstone.
That's right.
And till then, he hadn't picked up Mark Henry for the tombstone.
Right.
He choke slammed him, and that was it.
Yes.
And Kurt Angle's like, no way. Get the fuck out of here. Like, you're not about to pick this dude up.
Yeah, I remember this moment. Yep.
And Mark Henry got up, tombstone right to him, and Kurt Angle was like, oh, shit.
Now, I got a question about the tombstone before we go on.
Okay.
The Piledriver is illegal. How is the tombstone still legal?
I don't know. That is like the ultimate question. Because like I don't get it. And it's funny because they had that feud with Jerry Lawler and The Miz. And I'm like, real wrestling fans know that Jerry Lawler's finisher is the Piledriver.
Right.
It's not that little punch from the second rope. It's the Piledriver.
Right.
And it's like, but you let the Undertaker still do the Piledriver.
Right. Is it because that they don't fall on their butt?
I don't know.
I mean, Undertaker doesn't fall on his butt, right? He falls on his knees.
He falls on his knees.
The Piledriver, they used to fall on their butt.
But
and that would
I
be
guess
like
their head was more exposed on a regular Piledriver. Yeah, because I guess if you have them up high enough, you can fall on your knees without their head hitting the mat.
Right. I tell you what, in elementary school, I got Piledrived a lot. Maybe that's what's wrong with me now.
Oh, that might be. That explains a lot, Richie.
And the DDT, I got that one a lot too.
Oh, that explains a lot.
I don't know how many times I was knocked unconscious.
Wow.
But anyways,
Speaking of don't try this at home.
how about the number 9 match?
Number 9, and I know a lot of people are gonna get mad at me for this being so low, but it was Monday Night Raw, and it's gonna be Undertaker versus Jeff Hardy. Okay. And I think, if I recall correctly, that was when Undertaker was I want to say the American Badass persona.
Oh, okay. That was like the only time that I didn't care about the Undertaker.
And that was a lot of people
coming
say that.
down on the freaking motorcycle.
Yeah.
Like, I was like,
yeah.
I was like, if he wasn't already the Undertaker, it'd be something different.
Right.
If he was just coming down as Mark.
Yeah.
Whatever his name is, Calloway.
Yeah, Mark Calloway.
Like, Mark Calloway.
Yeah.
That might have been cool, but that's not how he wanted to see the Taker.
No, you didn't.
Those were the hard years of watching the Taker.
And it's funny because I'm like, if I honestly believe that if Undertaker would have kept his persona the way it was, Sting probably would have came to WWE so that we could finally have our Sting versus Undertaker match.
He probably would have came sooner, yeah.
Yeah. And it's like, but you had this. And I understand why the Undertaker wanted to do that. I honestly believe that the Undertaker just wanted to be himself. For a few years.
Right.
Because, you got this, you're coming out, and you got to think about it. Undertaker was the only one, because they had to keep up this mystical persona.
Right.
That Undertaker was the only one. You never seen him at the Hall of Fame. You never seen him doing events. You never seen him doing because he couldn't be himself.
Right.
He was always this supernatural entity that was the Undertaker.
Yeah.
And remember during the Monday Night Raws, they used to go all out for him to have like superpowers or stuff that, the lightning and all that. Yeah. So I believe that was the years when Undertaker was like, look, I just want to be myself. Just let me be myself for a few years. And he had some solid matches. Like the one with Jeff Hardy.
Yeah, solid matches, but with wrestling, it has evolved. It's just more than the matches. It's just the...
Well, yeah, now it is. It's the persona.
Yeah.
Back then, they used to have, like, Raw was an hour, and they used to have, like, 5-minute matches. And some of those matches were better than the matches that they put on now.
Right.
So back then, that just tells a tale of the generations. We cared more about the storyline and the matches. They cared more about the persona. But that just goes to a point where, like you said, that Undertaker was kind of like, ugh. But match will go on to number 8, and a lot of people are not gonna be mad at me again for this being so low. But it's Mankind and the Undertaker in the Hell in a Cell.
How can that be low?
Well,
anytime you have Mick Foley in a Hell in a Cell match.
No, I agree. It was a good match. Well, no, technically it wasn't. It was more about the fact that Mick Foley was thrown off the cell, and the cell broke. If you go back and look at that match, and Mick Foley will tell you that was not a good match. It was not well executed. He was unconscious for the half the match.
What match is he not conscious?
I mean, Undertaker, but that goes back to what we said earlier. That's Undertaker's professionalism and ability to put on a good match.
Yeah, man, you get the guy from Lincoln and Bernie's, Undertaker's going to make him look good.
Exactly. Exactly. So that's why that match is so low. It wasn't a good match. It
just had that highlight.
It just had that highlight. Okay. It just had those highlights.
I'll give you that.
Number 7. We're going to say, and I'm going back to the American Badass persona, and a lot of people are going to be mad at me because it was the American Badass persona and the washed up has-been. But I'm going to say it anyway. And that's Undertaker and Hulk Hogan for the WWE Championship. And the only reason I'm saying that is because, look, if you don't like the list,
Go ahead.
If you don't like the list,
this is the match that people have been waiting for, especially for the title, but go ahead.
And they had their match in the early 90s. They had a little one match.
They did, but people wanted it again because in the early 90s, Taker was new.
Right, and Hogan was on his way out the door.
Right, and now Undertaker is a huge icon. Some might even said at the time when this match happened, he was the face of the company.
Exactly.
And then Hulk Hogan comes back, the legend comes back.
Right. And it's like, and everybody was like, okay, we want Hogan to have the title. Does Hogan really need the title? Like they gave it to him, and then so he beat Triple H, and then the very next pay-per-view, he lost to the Undertaker. And I was like, yeah, they just gave that title to Hogan just because his name was Hulk Hogan. like, you know what I'm saying? But again, goes to Taker's professional. And to me, Hogan is one of those people that puts on a good match no matter what age he is, you know. Even when he was in TNA, you know, he had his first match in TNA was decent.
He knew how to work the crowd.
He knew how to work the crowd.
With his moves.
Yeah, you know.
He knew what they wanted and when they wanted it.
Exactly. And that's the mark of a true professional. So that's why that match is on this list to me.
Wow.
Number 6, right? We're on number 6?
I think so, yeah.
Okay, number 6. I'm going to go with the 6-pack Hell in a Cell. And that was with Kurt Angle, Rikishi, Undertaker, Triple H, Stone Cold. The 6-pack challenge Hell in a Cell. The one that Commissioner Mick Foley made up. Right. Commissioner Foley. Yeah. That match was great just because it was the first of its kind. It was 6 people inside a Hell in a Cell. And Undertaker...
Kind of like where Elimination Chamber came from.
It probably, where the Elimination Chamber came from. Undertaker choke slams. And he lost that match. Undertaker lost that match. But it's not about the matches that he won and lost. It was about the best matches that he was in. And some of the most memorable matches that he was in. So this list might not be the best matches, but it's the ones that are near and dear to my heart. So that match, I remember that match because that was the match that we brought pay-per-view for. So, because I really wanted to see that match. But he chokeslammed Rikishi off the Hell in a Cell right into the truck. It was a truck now. I forgot how the truck got there. I think Stone Cold brought the truck out.
Stone Cold.
Probably. But that was when Stone Cold was a villain too, because that was like after he was the good guy. That was when Rikishi was the villain, and Rikishi got that push because he had ran over Stone Cold. I remember that. He ran over Stone Cold like a few months before. Number 5. Let's halfway through and no tears yet, guys. I'm gonna go. Number 5 is Undertaker, Ric Flair at WrestleMania, and that's when that was Ric Flair's first match back in the WWE. He came back as part owner. That was right at the invasion angle. He came back as part owner, and he did something. I think he screwed Undertaker out of something, but he was doing it as his job, you know, as the part owner of the company, you know.
Right.
And Undertaker didn't like that, so Undertaker went on and beat up his son David, and they told Ric Flair, if you go through with this match, we will strip you of your percentage of the company. Ric Flair didn't care. WrestleMania, Mia Taker, the song. And
isn't this the one that was supposed to end Ric Flair's career the first time?
This was supposed to be his only match. I think this was supposed to be his only match. Okay. But this is the match that got him. That then was like, Ric Flair can still go, you know. And it's funny because like if you look at that match, Flair had hair, and it's like the next time you seen him, he didn't have hair. And I'm like, where did Ric Flair hair go? But that was actually a really good match. Arn Anderson interfered, hit him with the spine buster. You thought it was over. You probably, Ric Flair locked on the figure 4. It was a real good match, and it proved that Ric Flair could still put on. And it's a funny story because that's when Ric Flair was still able to do the flip over the turnbuckle when he got slammed into the turnbuckle.
He still could do that today. What are you talking about?
Shit. So he'll tell you a story. It was at this Hall of Fame induction. That was his first match since he had came back, and Taker, you know how they talk in the ring. So he told Taker, he said, okay, let's do the flip. Taker threw him in. He said he barely got on. He said he couldn't even do it. So, but he said Taker knew I wanted to do this flip. So, but that lets you know the professionalism again of Undertaker. Set him up for the flip, got it over. But that again proves that Undertaker can make anybody look good. His first match back in months. That was years by that time.
There was a lot of years throughout his career where they had him, not necessarily in the WrestleMania ring, but throughout the shows when he would put somebody over.
Yeah,
it usually was a big deal.
Yeah. Oh yeah. When you if Undertaker puts you over, that's a huge deal.
Because just wrestling him alone in WrestleMania would put you over,
Right.
even though you're going to lose.
Right. Oh yeah, that's a big deal.
It's going to be a good match, and then people are going to be like, "Whoa, he hung in there with the Undertaker."
Exactly. That's a huge deal.
Yeah.
So we're going to number 4, and we all know these 4 matches are. We know what these last 4 matches are. We just don't know what order I'm gonna put
I don't
them
know
in.
what they are, but okay. Go ahead.
Well, the people we all come on now. So the last 4 matches we all know: Triple H 1, Triple H 2.
Oh, come on.
Shawn Michaels 1, Shawn Michaels 2. We just don't know what order I'm gonna put them in. We just don't know what order I'm gonna put them in. So let's go with Triple H Undertaker 1 as number 4.
Okay.
So that was the match that was supposed to be the end of an era match. Right?
Yeah.
That was the first one. The end of an era, Undertaker, Triple H, blah, blah,
Right.
blah. And I remember WWE putting off like that Triple H had never fought the Undertaker at WrestleMania. Like they wanted everybody to forget about when he fought him as the American Badass.
Right.
They wanted everybody to forget about that.
Right.
Which was that was a great match too.
Because now he's back as the Undertaker.
Right. But that was a great match too.
Right.
That was in the crowd. They was in the crowd. That was a really good match they put on.
I remember that. I remember that match. Yeah.
That was a good match they put on. But they wanted everybody to forget about that match. And the match that they put on at WrestleMania was great. That was a really good match.
That's rare to say with Triple H involved.
See, you're not a Triple H fan. I am.
I like Triple H.
Uh-huh.
Just not at WrestleMania.
Really?
Matches are always just too long. At one point, I like it, but as it just became the same shtick over, like this past WrestleMania, I'm sorry, dude. That match was way too long. It was.
I agree.
I mean, I didn't get to bed till 12.
I agree.
30 or 1 o'clock in the morning.
I agree. And but I mean, I agree. I can't even argue.
They're slow too. It's not like they're very slow paced with Triple H.
And
whenever he fought the Taker, he had to step it up.
Yeah, well, everybody has to step it up when you fight Undertaker.
Yeah.
Everybody has to step it up when you fight Undertaker. So that goes to number 3. Undertaker, Shawn Michaels 2.
The one that ends
Shawn Michaels' career. Yes.
Comes down all white.
No, that's the first one.
First one. That's right.
the first one.
That's
the second one was.
Wasn't he supposed to retire after the first one too? Like
No. That was he was That's when he started thinking about retirement.
All right. Now, so let's go back because you're going to talk about that one.
We'll talk about that. Well, we'll get there.
Shawn Michaels,
Undertaker 2. And that match.
That was an amazing match.
That was an amazing. I mean, you can't even speak that into words.
That's my number 1. That's my number 1, by the way.
Really?
That is my number 1.
2 is your number 1.
2 is my number 1. Number 1 would be my 2.
Wow.
Those were 2 exciting matches.
Wow.
That's the matches I was sitting there yelling at the TV like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Like I thought it was over 500 times. Like, oh.
And that's how I did. Well, all 4 of these matches for me did that for me.
Right.
I never thought Undertaker would lose. Like, there were matches where I didn't think Undertaker would lose.
Right.
And then there were matches where I'm like, okay, Undertaker might lose this match.
Right.
And this was before the streak had ended.
Right.
And I was like, if anybody ends the streak,
it would be
either Triple H or Shawn Michaels.
And I was thinking more of Shawn Michaels because he's Mr. WrestleMania.
Yeah, and that's what and it's like, I always ask myself, why do they call Shawn Michaels Mr. WrestleMania? And
the showstopper.
And Undertaker is like undefeated at WrestleMania.
Right, exactly.
And it's like, and the streak didn't even become a big thing until like he won like 10.
Right.
And because nobody really thought about it, it was just like, this guy's never lost at WrestleMania.
Right.
And it was like, and like Triple H said it before they fought their first match, you've done it all, Taker. I've done it all. We've won titles. We've won Royal Rumbles. We've done all that. We've done everything. The only thing that you got left is the streak. The only thing that I got left is trying to break the streak.
Right.
So it became a point to where it's like, okay, you can't give Undertaker the belt because he's not going to be able to do the 6 months or whatever you need him to do to win the title.
He's just going to have it for one night.
Right. Yeah, that's it. So it's like, all I got left is the streak. So, but that Shawn Michaels Undertaker match is memorable. And when Undertaker refused to put Shawn Michaels down.
Yes. That was the
moment.
Classic moment.
That was the moment that I realized I was like, it's over. Because I didn't want Shawn Michaels to retire.
When he looked at Taker and he said, "Thank you."
Yeah,
I got kind of teary eyed.
yeah, and it was like when oh my God, when he just that was the moment. Number 2.
All right.
Triple H, Undertaker, 2. And I remember this match. I was at my friend's house. We was watching this match, and they had a barbecue. They was doing something. It was like somebody's birthday or something. So we all over there, and I'm downstairs, like a friend of the family or whatever. I'm downstairs. We watching WrestleMania. My mom and them are upstairs, and I remember when Undertaker made the mistake and hit Shawn Michaels. And he did something to Triple H, and Triple H reversed it. Turned around, Shawn Michaels hit him with that super kick.
Yes.
Turned around right into the pedigree. And like we said before, this was that match where it was like 1, 2, and then when Undertaker kicked out, we was like, oh my God, thank you, oh my God, thank you, Jesus. Like, it was like you wanted Triple H, and like if anybody would have broke the streak, I wanted it to be one of them, Triple H, Shawn Michaels. And Undertaker, and that feud built up so great because it's like, Shawn Michaels, what makes you think you can do what I couldn't do?
Right.
You know? And that whole feud for those 2 years was probably the best feud that WWE had going.
One of the best feuds, yes.
That they had going. And it was like, because to me, WWE has a lot of, they start off with good feuds. Either they let them go too long,
right,
or they cut them off too short.
Right.
You know? But this feud was a feud that I didn't mind watching for a year. You know?
Yeah. No.
It was like, you know, and then when Undertaker came out, because remember, he couldn't walk out under his own power at the first Triple H Undertaker. So when he came out, we didn't know who he was going to face. And when he said, I won the battle, but didn't win the war, I was like, what is he talking about?
Right.
And then when he challenged Triple H, I was like, oh yeah, this gonna be good. This gonna be good. This is the part of the segment where I do my runner-ups. So my first you got to do runner-ups. You gotta let the people know.
Gosh.
So my first runner-up will be Undertaker versus Kane.
It's always classic when you got the brothers going at it.
Yeah, but we talking about the Inferno match.
Oh, yes.
The Inferno match. Undertaker versus Kane, the Inferno match. And that's probably going to be my only runner-up because that match, to me, deserves to be on the top 10. But these were the matches that are on the top 10 were the matches that I just felt like were.
So no mention of the streak-ending match with Brock Lesnar?
No, because no. That don't get no play. No love.
No love. No Roman Reigns.
Oh, hell no. Nah, you definitely know that's not going to be on this list.
So are you like most of the fans, you're upset that they decided to end the career with Roman Reigns?
Well, nobody knew his career was going to end. So
except for Undertaker.
Except for Undertaker. But I'm not upset that... I'm upset... Okay, I'm not upset that his career ended. Okay, that's a lie. Yeah. I am.
Liar.
If you've looked at my Facebook, you know I'm upset. I'm upset that it wasn't his last match. And I knew something was up when Roman Reigns kept calling this his yard. This is my yard. This is my yard. This is my yard. Right. And then when Undertaker came out and said, no, this is still my yard. Like, just not he, but you know, this is still my yard.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, getting a little sneaking suspicion here. But then when JR came out, call the match,
you knew it was his last match.
I'm like,
we all called it at the party I was at. We're all like, oh shit,
because JR got fired.
Right. Well, he's back for 2 years now.
No, has he been back?
They signed him back.
For 2 years now, yeah. But he only was back because of the Undertaker.
Well, yeah, because they're all buddies.
Yeah, and Undertaker wanted him.
Stone Cold. I was surprised Stone Cold wasn't the special guest referee.
Austin didn't know either. No one knew.
Did JR know? Because JR was there.
JR didn't know either. I think JR knew because he asked him to come back.
Do you think that Vince knew?
That's a good question.
Because Taker, it was always up to Taker.
It's always up to Taker.
It's always up to Taker.
Vince would have let Taker go. Yeah.
Taker chose to put over Roman.
Right. So, but that's what I say. When JR came out, I'm like, JR got fired. Like, why the fuck is he here? Like, not that I'm not upset because I love JR.
Right.
JR is the greatest of all time. JR will take.
But he's coming out just for this match.
Just for this match. Like, JR only comes out when there's big things going down. So I'm like, that was me. So I'm like, what the heck? Okay, JR is coming out. That's weird. So then, you know, the match is going on. And it's the best match Undertaker could possibly put on at the time. You know, you could tell, you know. And
he didn't go old school.
That's
why he lost.
That's what happened. I just realized that.
He's got to hit all his... He's got to hit all his moves. You got to hit all your old finishers.
And then you know what? I knew Undertaker was hurt when I seen him do Snake Eyes.
Yes.
And when he came off the ropes for the leg drop. Yep. No, when you ever see Undertaker do that leg drop, he jumps.
Yeah.
And lands.
No, it
was like he was just like
gliding.
Yeah, he just like came off the ropes and just fell on him.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay.
It's kind of like watching Hulk Hogan do his leg drop.
Yeah, it's kind of
after the hip surgery.
Yeah. So I'm like, okay. But so then when Roman Reigns won, when Undertaker looked at Roman Reigns, when Roman Reigns told Undertaker to stay down. And Undertaker looked at him and was like, you don't have the balls. You ain't got the balls. When Roman Reigns hit that spear and they counted to 3. One, I was pissed. First thing, I was pissed. How the fuck you let Undertaker lose to Roman Reigns? So I was pissed. Second, I was like, okay, well, whatever. I'm like, at this point, it's like, he already got the one loss. Like, 2 ain't gonna really matter. You're like 27-2. Okay, who the fuck cares?
But you know the next time he loses, it's the end.
Yeah, and I'm like, the next time he loses, that'll probably be it. But they pushing.
We all knew that was in the contract.
Yeah, and I'm like,
WrestleMania.
And I'm like, you forcing Roman Reigns down our throats anyway, so he might as well beat the Undertaker, whatever. So when Roman Reigns got out the ring, I was like, okay, it's something weird going on. Because usually the winner stays in the ring.
Right.
To let the fireworks go off and everything.
Yeah. But he left the ring.
And did that on the ramp. And then when Undertaker got up, he sat up and put his coat and his hat on.
Yep.
I said, Undertaker never puts his coat and hats on when he leave the ring. He'd always just get out the ring, put the fist up, go into the darkness.
Right.
So when he put everything back on, I'm like, don't you do it. And then when he came to the center of the ring, I'm like, hell no, don't you do this. Don't you do this. Like, don't do this. And he unstrapped that first glove. I'm like, I know my neighbors thought I was crazy. Because I'm like, no. Fuck that. No. Throw him in the middle of the ring. I'm like, okay, you half retired. You half retired now, but now you super half retired. Like, now it's every other WrestleMania. You know, WrestleMania, every other WrestleMania.
You're just pissed because you lost to Roman Reigns.
That's all. That's it.
You're not retired. You're quitting.
You're quitting. Yes, you're quitting, you know. So he takes the coat off. And I'm like, he not doing this. You can't do this to me. Like Goldberg lost already tonight, so I know he done. So like, you can't do this.
He's
to
not
me.
done for good though.
Yeah, but he's not you. Like, I have all I got now is Kane and Big Show and Jericho.
And who knows when Kane's coming back? Because he's running for office right now, in Tennessee or something.
So who knows when he's coming back?
Right?
Who knows? He might be done.
Yeah.
So it's like, dude. So then he took off the hat. And I'm like, okay, well, he just, he got to have a hip surgery. So maybe he don't know if he going to come back after the hip surgery. I ain't thinking about nothing. I knew it was over when he got out the ring. Because Undertaker never breaks character. Ever. Okay?
Right.
I knew it was over when he got out the ring and went to the sideline and kissed his wife.
Yep.
I knew that was it. I knew it was over.
Yeah, and she moved. She was behind the announcer's booth, and she moved over there.
Yeah, so
they talked about that.
Really?
Well, they had to, or else she's just really intuitive.
Right. So I knew it was over. Because Undertaker doesn't break character. So I knew it was over.
It's a beautiful finish, man.
It was, and then when he went...
When you think about it, like, anytime, if you're retiring, you wrestled Taker, it was a great end to your career, and then he ended it with what he gave everybody else. Yeah. You know?
Yeah, you're right.
It was great.
I mean...
So, your number one match, what is it?
Well, we already know what the number one match is. It's Undertaker Michaels 1. The light versus the dark.
Light versus dark.
Light versus dark. That's when he came out in over WrestleMania 25. Again, I lost for words. This is... A lot of people consider this match the greatest match of all time.
I think it's up there in mine.
You know, when you think about matches at WrestleMania, is this one... You know, you got Shawn Michaels, Bret Hart, Iron Man match.
Right.
You know, you got Ric Flair, Shawn Michaels. That was a great match.
Mr. WrestleMania.
Yeah, that's WrestleMania. Though. I mean, you say Mr. WrestleMania, you know. Right. You got Rock Stone Cold 3.
Yep.
Because to me, Rock Stone Cold 1 was good. Rock Stone Cold 2 was ruined by Stone Cold becoming the bad guy. Rock Stone Cold 3 was like a pure match. It was like... Because it wasn't for the belt. It wasn't a storyline. It was just those two guys that had been wrestling each other for years.
Putting on the most electrifying matches of all time.
That was it. You know, that was it. Which that was Stone Cold's last match. A lot of people didn't know that until after the match.
Yes.
The only person that knew that, I think, was The Rock and Jim Ross. I think the only two people that knew.
Yep.
But anyway.
What about Hulk Hogan and The Rock?
Hulk Hogan and The Rock. When you think of WrestleMania, that was a great match. Hulk Hogan and The Rock.
Of course.
Undertaker and I hate to say it, Undertaker and Brock. You think about that one. Just because he ended the streak.
And then you also got like, we can go on all day. I mean,
you can go on. You got Andre Giant and Hulk Hogan. You got
when he picked up Andre the Giant for the second time. Everybody thought it was the first time, but it wasn't.
The second time, it was the second time. Yep. You got the Bret Hart versus Yokozuna. Then Undertaker versus Hulk Hogan versus Bret Hart. Stone Cold versus Bret Hart. You got.
Any John Cena match? No, I'm just kidding.
No. You was about to get kicked off the podcast.
Santino, Marella. Those matches were
perfect.
Those matches were perfect.
Perfect. And the Cobra.
He was Intercontinental Champion for 100 days or something.
Something like that.
And the Honky Tonk Man was like 200 or 462 days.
Something. He
was on his way to that streak.
He almost beat it. He almost beat it. No, Mick Foley and Edge. That was a great match.
Just about any ladder match that has the Hardy Boys or Edge and Christian.
Hardy Boys.
Any of those matches were
those were great matches. So Undertaker, Shawn Michaels, obviously.
Yes.
Up there. Top 5.
Right.
Obviously, my greatest Undertaker match of all time is Shawn Michaels, Undertaker 1. If you have never seen any of those matches, I suggest you go on YouTube and watch them. Because those matches are they're phenomenal.
Let me ask you this.
Yes.
Since we're coming to the end here.
Yeah.
And people are upset about Roman Reigns winning. Who do you think of because obviously he's going to retire. He's got to put somebody over who's young.
Right.
Because the company needs it.
Right.
Who would you like to see? Did you want to see whatever his name, Wade Bryant last year? Me personally, I don't like that character. So no.
No. If he would have had to put over anybody, I would have liked to see him go with AJ. I like AJ Styles.
Okay. Yeah, AJ Styles.
But they consider AJ Styles an older person.
Right.
Because he's been in the game a while. So if it would have had to been a young guy.
Yeah.
I like Dean Ambrose. I like Dean
totally
Ambrose.
Disagree with that.
Really? I like Dean Ambrose.
I don't like him at all.
But see, you're asking a biased person because to me, none of these guys are good enough to defeat The Undertaker.
I personally would like to see CM Punk come back.
I would love to see CM Punk.
That would have been a nice finish.
A nice rematch. And I thought his last match should have been against Kane. I would have loved to see Kane Undertaker for the title one more time.
Really?
Yeah. Because to me, Kane, they've played Kane. Kane's only been a world champion 3 times.
Yeah, that's right. He is.
So, and to me, Kane should have at least had at least 2 or 3 more runs. Kane should be one of those guys where you be like, Kane had won the title like 7 times. Like, he should, you know what I'm saying? He should be that guy. And,
they could have played a WCW card and they could have run in Seth Rogen and he defeats the Undertaker.
Really?
That was just stupid.
That was just so. He just wanted to say. Anyway. Besides Sausage Party being a great movie, I got you a plug there. No, I would have loved to see Kane and Undertaker one more time.
Okay. All right.
And I would love to see them bring the Inferno match back for Kane and Undertaker.
That would have been cool.
Or a Buried Alive match. I would have loved to see the Undertaker retire in a match that that was made for him.
3 falls.
Casket match. Inferno and Hell in a or Buried Alive. Yeah. I would have loved to see
in a Hell in a Cell.
So I would have loved to see that.
So actually, you just wanted Undertaker to die for real, because that would have killed him.
That would have been his, and like I said, but see, that would have been a proper send off for.
No, I mean you would have killed Mark.
He's too old to be doing all
Kane that. Too. Kane might have had a heart attack during that match. Those are dangerous. That's a dangerous dream.
Well, remember when he had the one tag team match with him and Big Show versus the Rock and Sock Connection?
Oh yes. And
Big Show threw Mick Foley off the stage into the hole.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's another Undertaker match. Yep. It's another Undertaker match. Yep. But it's like that would have been my dream ending.
Okay.
Kane and Undertaker one more time. Or if you want to do that, put Bray Wyatt over.
Yeah.
Let Bray Wyatt go against Undertaker.
Or Braun.
Or Braun Strowman. Let one of these people that have the supernatural entities go against the Undertaker, because now you got the old supernatural versus the new supernatural. Stick to your guns.
A great storyline would be in 4 or 5 years is whoever beat Undertaker, which is Roman Reigns, is undefeated. He's hunting down the streak.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Right.
He could set up the next guy.
Exactly.
He took the power from the Undertaker, and that's why he doesn't lose.
The WrestleMania.
Vince needs to hire me because
hey. One of us needs to go.
All right.
Well, that's been our tribute to the Undertaker. Thank you, Taker, for all the memories.
Thank you, Undertaker.
For all the memories, and for all you people out there, just remember, rest in peace. Oh, and next week we're gonna talk about our favorite Fast and Furious moments, car chases.
Because this franchise is about to rest in peace.
Pretty much. This has been the Q and Richie Rollins.